Today in Total War Warhammer 3, we are going to be ranking the Lizardmen from weakest to strongest. And the weakest one isn't no surprise, it's N'Kari. And this is because N'Kari is a horde faction, and any settlements that you take, your options are either to raise them, gift them to Quetzal, gift them to Itzel, or gift them to, I'm not even gonna try and say that. And depending on who you gift to decides your temples of the old ones. And each temple has some different effects. Itzel focuses on beasts and abilities surrounding beasts. Solanka focuses on winds of magic and magical abilities. And Quetzal focuses more on defense and keeping your units alive rather than being able to dish out high amounts of damage. The vassal that you have to gift the settlements over to does absolutely nothing, and it's just a combination of being a horde settlement, having a useless vassal that will drag you down, and having to focus on effects that aren't going to do a whole lot in the long run, and the fact that your primary enemy is going to be Grand Cathay, who will just shoot the ever-living daylights out of all of these massive units. N'Kai has just the worst campaign out of all of the Lizardmen. Coming in at number 6 is Lord Mazdamundi, and this is because of just how generic he is. He has the construction cost minus 50% for Star Chamber buildings, a right cost minus 30%. He reduces upkeep for Temple Guards, which is one of the least used units in the entirety of the Lizardmen roster. And then inside of the campaign, you are, well, screwed. You start out at war with the Skegi and Keepers of Bliss, both of which are very easy to beat. The New World colonies are beneath you, and they absolutely hate you. The Blue Vipers are also beneath you, and they also hate you. For some reason, the game gives you a non-aggression pact with Marathi, who makes no sense. And all the territory above you is uninhibitable, because it's all frozen climate for the entirety of Naggaroth. If you try and go down into Lustria, you will eventually reach the Jade Court, who they might be able to be an ally to you. But you're also going to run into Marcus Wolfhart, who is going to absolutely hate you. And inside the battlefield, Lord Mazdamundi is a spellcaster and a Slann mage, which means that he is good for casting spells. He has some very good ones, but these abilities are also kind of generic. And inside a battle, Mazdamundi just really is not that special. And that is why he is number 6 on the list. Coming in at number 5, and this pains me so much to say it because I love this faction, it's Tic-Tac-Toe. I love this faction for one reason, but it's just not powerful enough to be higher. And the reason I like this faction so much is the Drop Rocks of Kotak ability combined with the upkeep minus 50% for Pterodon Riders, Riptidactyl Riders, and Coatl units, and the campaign line of sight plus 25% for all characters. Inside a campaign, you start with the Pterodon Hatchery, which is really good because you can get Pterodon Riders with Fireleech Bolas very early on in the game. You also have access to the Grazing Pastures, which is a good resource, and you start out at war with the Greenskins. And the ability to just drop rocks wherever you go, I kind of messed with that. The ability to drop rocks wherever you need to is just such a powerful ability. If you time your drops right, you can absolutely melt absolutely any unit that you want. Any sort of unit is yours to absolutely destroy whenever you feel like it, for whatever reason you feel like. It doesn't matter. You can destroy anything extremely easily. In terms of who you have nearby, you have some Lizardmen beneath you, you have Bretonnia above you, you have some Ogres who aren't going to be that much of a threat, the Cult of Sigmar who will actually like you because you start with a non-aggression pact with them, and some Tomb Kings, and they're kind of up in the air for whether or not they're going to like you. Of course, you have the Dwarves in the mountains, you have more Lizardmen behind them, as well as some Skaven, and more Tomb Kings, but they aren't too hard to deal with. And then you have the Badlands, and the disaster that is the Badlands. So Tic-Tac-Toe, he's not a particularly horrible lord, in fact he's very good. He just isn't stupidly powerful like some of the ones that we're about to get to. Coming in at number 4 is Tehenouen. And with the exception of N'Kari, Tehenouen probably has the worst campaign start out of all of the Lizardmen. You have a non-aggression pact with the Ghosts of Paunex. Itz is above you, which is good. Southern Sentinels and Zlatlan are nearby. You have the Spine of Sotek Dwarves, who might be an ally. You have a non-aggression pact with the Citadel of Dusk. And then you have the Skaven. And by golly, there are a lot of Skaven then. You have the Vampire Coast, who they're an absolute pain in the neck. So you have some potential allies, you have some potential friends, but what makes this really bad is you cannot get Saurus for the first part of the game. You have to deal with the Prophecy of Sotek and get all the various parts to it, and as you go, various things will happen. So during the first stage, you have upkeep plus 200% for Saurus, infantry, and Temple Guard units, all armies. Then you wind up going to war with the entirety of Skavenkind, and finally at the Prophecy of Sotek, you actually start to get some good bonuses, and you're still at war with the entirety of Skavenkind. However, what can help to offset this are the sacrificial offerings. These can be sacrificed to Sotek for various abilities, such as jungle swarms, leadership buffs, armor buffs, casualty replenishment, extra units, random followers, random banners, growth, control. You can even get blessed Carnosaurs just for sacrificing 900 offerings. So you have some very powerful bonuses, and late game, Tehenwen is going to be insanely powerful. But you're also going to be at war with the entirety of Skavenkind, their allies, and you're going to have a very, very rough start to the game. So for that reason, Tehenwen is number 4. Coming in at number 3 are the Ghost of Powix. They have an upkeep minus 25% for Skinks and Chameleon Skink units, all armies. Oxyotl himself is immune to diplomatic penalties from trespassing, as well as Masterful Ambush Stance, which allows him to ambush pretty much anybody he wants. And out of probably everyone in the Lizardman roster, Oxyotl has one of the strangest campaigns that I think I've ever seen. For diplomacy, it's nothing crazy. You have a non-aggression pact with the Cult of Sotek. You have a lot of demons right through here, so you're going to need a second army to help you take them on. However, what's really bizarre is that every climate in the entire game is suitable. You can place a settlement anywhere you want without having to worry about climate. You also have Silent Sanctums, which you can place under any settlement you want, assuming that you have enough gems to do it. And these will give you bonuses for being inside of the territory, will give your units bonuses, reduce upkeep and increase post-battle loot, grant visibility over the adjacent regions, and the most powerful one for some place you're going to want to visit again, you can make it so you can just teleport there in one turn using the Capstone of Tapak. You also have the Visions of the Old Ones, which will give you bonuses for taking down various groups. So for the current one, it's destroy a faction, in particularly these dudes, and these Silent Sanctum missions can literally send you anywhere in the map, which is super useful for if you're looking to take over the world or just be the ultimate jerk to the forces of chaos. Coming in at number 2 is Kroq-Gar. And this is because of how good his upkeep reductions are. You have upkeep minus 15% for any army that is led by a Saurus Old Blood. You also have upkeep minus 15% Lord's Army for every single unit, plus an ambush success chance plus 25%. When you first start the campaign, in terms of location, you are pretty safe. You have some dwarves who don't particularly like you. You have some wood elves who might want to be your ally as long as you leave them alone. There are some Skaven and some greenskins nearby, but they are absolutely no threat to you. You can crush pretty much anyone you want, and because you start in control of the Golden Tower, you can build a structure, Golden Tower of the Gods, which gives 600 income per turn, control plus 5, research rate plus 8%, and corruption minus 5. You begin at war with some Skaven who will stand absolutely no chance against you. The greatest concern will be Kairos beneath you, or the problems of the Badlands spilling over, but at the same time, this is Kroq-Gar. He is insanely powerful. You will be able to withstand pretty much anything that comes your way, and coming in at number 1 is Gorak. This guy is the most powerful lord in the entirety of the Lizardmen race. You have Right of Resilience, which gives barrier and defense bonuses to Saurus, starts the campaign with control of Lord Kroak, which is insanely good, barrier hit points plus 500 for all units when defending a settlement, and then he has some stuff like unit mass plus 15% and missile resistance 10%. These are okay. The defensive supplies plus 500, those are okay, not particularly Earthshatter. In terms of your actual campaign, you have a lot of potential allies nearby, in the form of all the various Lizardmen that you can set up non-aggression pacts and other alliances with. You start with a non-aggression pact with the Spine of Sotek Dwarves, and your main enemies will be demons, Skaven, the men that are up here, and Rakarth. Outside of that, this isn't particularly a safe place. I mean, you have Vampire Coast, but they're not going to be too much of a threat. So it's not particularly safe, but it's also not awful, and when combining Lord Kroak and Gorak, you can have such a powerful combination that nothing will be able to stop you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Also go check out my Discord server as well as the Patreon. Links to both those in the description below. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.